Hello, hello. Welcome, everybody. My name is Cindy. This is another episode of Blind Community Chat. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm just getting a little comfy here. Today's topic and focus is going to be on when we feel like we're two-sided and we're too blind. It's that in between gray area of like, okay, where do we fit in? How do I know when I'm ready for this, or am I deserving of that, or can I call myself this? Am I, just that whole insecurity and guessing game of where do I stand, And so many of us, because more of us are in that gray area especially on the spectrum of blindness, than then they're it's like we majority of us are in that gray area than not, if that makes sense. So I feel like a lot of us really struggle with this issue, and I want to thank Dominique from at Cutting Edge. We were on TikTok last night just having kind of like a spontaneous little live chat last evening, and this sort of subject and topic came up, and it just, I don't know, resonated, stuck with me, and I was just reflecting more on it this morning, and I was like, you know what, I think that makes a great little focus chat for today's blind community chat. So welcome to the channel, my friends, and if this is your first time here, make sure you hit that subscribe and the notification bell. Everybody, make sure that notification bell down below is hit and turned on. That way you can get the notifications of when I go live, and that way you know kind of what time, because even though I'm trying to keep it consistently on Tuesday and Thursday and such, I'm going to start having guests on here pretty soon for our live lunch chats, and there might need to be a bit of flexibility there, and so that's when the notifications are going to come in handy, so that you can get that kind of memo and change, if you will. For example, I know in a couple of weeks I've got my friend Dominique coming on. She is an O&M instructor, and just a great working professional for our community, and she mentioned Fridays work better for her, so I already know, instead of a Thursday, we're going to be postponing to a Friday. And so that's what's going on. So that's today's focus. I'm going to give everyone just another minute or two to join our live chat today. So if you have joined us, make sure that you say hello. Tell me how's the weather, what's going on, where are you from, just anything, a little bit about yourself, to kind of open up the chat and let me know. And then we will start diving in a bit deeper into this feeling of feeling two-sided and too blind, and just have no idea where you fit in and how to approach your life and disability and struggles, with that being said. So I'm going to give, like I said, everybody just a second. If you're watching this on the replay, my friends, thank you so much for listening and hanging out with us again this Thursday. I'm going to, I certainly understand those who cannot participate in the chat in the live or catch us live. That's no big deal. That's why the replay is there, my friends. And, you're always welcome to just comment in the comment section down below to contribute to the conversation and discussion. If you have any specific points, want to add your 2 cents or a question or anything like that, you are welcome to do that in the comment section. I also want to throw out, anyone is also welcome to join me for these blind community chats. I'm going to start opening it up to guests and having guests on with me like I used to. I'm going to start doing that here in a couple weeks. I just sort of wanted to have kind of a pilot sort of season with just me, to get this memo out that instead of doing it in the evenings like I used to, it's going to be during lunchtime on Tuesdays and Thursdays, or whichever day works best for people. But typically during this lunch period is when I will be going live on this channel, Seeing Blind. But yeah, in a couple weeks, you will start seeing guests here as well, just because y'all know one of my big things that I love to advocate and love to just really announce and shout from the heavens is representation. And it's just not just me. Channel is not just about me and my experiences, but what we all have to contribute to the community. And that includes having other people on here. That's the whole point. And so that's what we are going to start doing, and opening it up to the community here in just a bit. Once I kind of feel like, enough of you guys have got the memo out there that we're doing these live lunches, and enough people can join us for the community chat here live. So, all right, I've got a few people here. So welcome, my friends. I'm going to I just realized I don't have my screen reader going on my iPad on the stream. So let me get that going. And tell me what you all think about today's topic, if you can relate, if you've ever felt that way. I know a lot of people who have lost the majority of their sight at a very, very young age. Never really go through that kind of in-between struggle. But then again, I've heard a lot of people do. So, and I want to also add that this feeling and this struggle is not exclusive to the blind community. I know I call these blind community chats, but honestly, my friends, if you broaden your perspective out to the community of disabilities in general, there's a lot of, I was saying this on TikTok earlier this morning, there's a lot of wheelchair users that can they technically stand and walk? Yeah. But they're still a wheelchair user for many, many reasons. There's all kinds of reasons, and there's a whole spectrum there alone. People with pain and chronic illnesses and such, and it's like, they're a wheelchair user so that they don't overstrain themselves, or they're not risking falling, or they're not, they're trying to prevent more pain and struggle down the road, or there's so many reasons. Yet some of them feel like, well, I'm not disabled enough. If I can walk, I'm still going to push myself to my limits and do it without it, and just use a cane or crutches or something instead, and then end up paying for it in the long run. But they go through the exact same struggles. There's a lot. You pick your disability, and I guarantee you there's going to be times where they still feel the exact same way we do, just from their own perspective and unique experience. All right. I'm going to open up my YouTube now, my friends, and turn my screen reader on and see who all is in the chat. So if you have not said hello and let me know what's going on in your neck of the woods yet, then please do so. And that way I can greet you, get to know you. And that's one of my favorite things about these live lunches, my friends, because I get to know you guys too. It's not just me yapping away, but I get to kind of interact with you guys and get to know you, which I absolutely love. It's all about building community and supporting each other, and hard to do that if it's not like a two-way street. Okay. Alrighty. Almost there, my friends. Sorry, I had to switch accounts, so it took me a few seconds. Okay, of course, I get a phone call. Almost there, my friends. Sorry, I had to switch accounts, so it took me a few seconds. Sorry, guys. It was like madhouse there for a second. Had all kinds of bells and whistles going off. All right, so I'm in. Let's see what's going on with you guys today. I'm going to have to check and see who called a second ago. Hello, Ray. I am so glad you joined me today. Yes, the weather's been so nice here lately, that like in the 70s. So yeah, I've been outside barefoot too. 12:19 p.m. Ray 4AJR. Hello, City. I got my new apartment a minute now. Sitting outside with a small poly next to my air conditioner compressor. Oh, that's wonderful, Ray. Congratulations. I'm so glad. I know that has been such a terrible, horrible struggle. My friend's a subscriber here named Ray. He lost his home in a hurricane, and it's It has been, I know, Ray, a long, long journey and struggle, losing your home in that hurricane, and just kind of trying to get back up on your feet again, I'm sure.
12:21 p.m. Blind abilities. Thumbs up.
Hey, Blind Abilities, what's going on? Thanks for stopping by.
Remember to charge your privacy and abide by our community guidelines.
Okay. All right, I think that's it. So, so tell me, my friends, so far, what do you all think about, in case you mentioned earlier, today's focus is just going to be on feeling two-sided and too blind for whatever situation. You apply it to whatever. And it's just that gray area. And so many of us experience this, especially I think one of the big hot topic moments that it really hits the closest to home, especially in the blind community, is when it comes to the white cane. It's like they feel like they're two-sided, that they don't necessarily need it in every environment and situation and setting, but yet they're too blind that they still end up tripping or falling, and you know, they're not, willing to accept the identity of it and accept the label that the cane automatically places on them. And so it's like, so many people approach accepting the white cane because of that gray area, that they feel like, well, I'm two-sided, but yet I'm too blind, or am I blind enough to use the cane? That's, I know, a huge common struggle. So that's definitely one area that people feel this two-sided and too blind struggle.
12:27 p.m. Wait for AJR. Yes, indeed. It has been a long struggle. I'm sitting barefoot on my small back patio in my new apartment. On a day like this, how could one want to be inside?
I know. I can't wait to get outside. I usually spend most all the later afternoons with my kids outside when they get home from school. And I have to, though, really be mindful, though, of how much time I do spend outside, because too much sunlight really wears my eyes down and fatigues them in a way that it triggers a lot of my side effects and symptoms, such as headaches, bonnet syndrome, and so I always stress the importance of having mindfulness when it comes to the day's eye stresses and eye strains, because that then leads and equals eye fatigue, and that's where you end up triggering a lot of the like I said, side effects of being visually impaired, and it kind of creates a systemic issue and onset of other symptoms and conditions that all stem from overstraining your eyes and causing and fatiguing them out. So I unfortunately, on these beautiful, beautiful days, I try to be very selective on how much exposure and when, and like get the most bang for my buck. So I try to get out there when my kids are ready and want to play and enjoy the beautiful sunshine and do it all together. That way, I'm not out there enjoying it myself, and then I wear my eyes out, and then now my kids are ready to go, but yet now I have a headache. So that's where I'm at, Ray. But I am so glad that you are out there, my friend, soaking it up, because it feels so good, especially when it's like spring is on the horizon. Temperatures are starting to get nice and warm again, and you feel like winter is almost behind us, and we get to enjoy the beauty of life outdoors.
12:29 p.m. Wait for AJR. The closest I can come to that is what happened to me in 1979 when I had my left eye removed. My brain didn't immediately get the message that I could not see light anymore.
Wow. That's interesting. I've never heard that part of your story.
12:29 p.m. Wait for AJR. The closest I can come to that is what happened to me in 1979 when I had my left eye removed. My brain didn't immediately get the message that I could not see light anymore.
Huh. Yeah. So have y'all ever heard of the, I can't remember what the condition is called, but it's like phantom, like amputees that have limbs or whatever need to have amputated, and later down the road, they have phantom sensations, like they still feel like their arm is there or their leg or whatever, and they still experience tingles. and things like that, even though the limb is gone. It's so funny because I think us in the blind and visually impaired community do as well. And I don't know if there's a term for that. I almost want to Google and research. I need to write myself a note, mental note right now, like pin that in my head, Cindy. Research the like Charles Bonnet is different. It's not what I'm talking about. It's a little different. That's more of like hallucinations, kind of just like misfiring and our brain kind of interpreting signals wonky due to vision loss. But what I'm talking about is like you said, Ray, it's like your brain hasn't caught up, that your eye isn't receiving any information anymore. So it's like this weird mix of signals, and it's like this phantom sign. Sometimes it's like that. Have you ever, I guess it's more, you can compare it to like the saying that you hear people say where like, I saw it there, like I thought, or it just popped up out of nowhere, or, you know, you swear you see something, but then when you look back again, it's not there. Maybe that's, I don't know. I don't know. Am I making sense at all, y'all? I feel like sometimes I get on these tangents, my ADHD kicks in, y'all, and I'm like way out in left field, and I'm like, okay, I've probably lost everybody because I'm just way out there now. I don't know. All right, let's see. What's y'all talking about today? Oh, I think I got my volume down. Hold on.
12:27 p.m. Wait for AJR. Yes, indeed. It has been a long struggle. I'm sitting barefoot on my small back patio in my new apartment. 12:29 p.m. Wait for AJR. The closest I can come to that is what happened to me in 1979 when I had my left eye removed. Page 2 of 2. 12:32 p.m. Wait for AJR. You mean Phantom limb syndrome? Yes, I've heard of it.
Oh, so there is a syndrome from that. Okay, good to know.
12:32 p.m. Wait for AJR. You mean Phantom limb syndrome? Yes, I've heard of it.
Yeah, so I'm just like, I'm really curious, like, how would that present itself in the blind community? And is that a thing? I don't know. Pardon me while I drink my coffee. I am a coffee drinker way up into the afternoon hours, my friends. I gotta have a steady supply of caffeine. I call it my motor oil in the morning because I make it super, super strong, and it's the only thing that gets my engines going through the day and keep them going. Otherwise, I just putter out. You know what I mean? I'm a low energy person, so it takes a lot of caffeine.
Chat message input. Chat publicly as Cindy Schaeffer. Ellipsis. Text field. 12:32 p.m. Wait for AJR. You mean Phantom limb syndrome? Yes, I've heard of it. 12:33 p.m. Wait for AJR. I had my left eye removed in 1979 because of glaucoma. My left eye was the only one that had light perception. My right eye has never worked.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, glaucoma is actually the number one reason for sight loss. So, yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, Ray, for joining me and chatting so much with me today. I think a lot of people, I'm still trying to kind of feel out our community to see how accessible this time is for everybody to come and join and participate. But the replay, you know, I'm very, very blessed that most people still are able to catch the replay and contribute to our discussions that way. So if that's you, listener, right now on the replay, I hope today's content, you gain value from it. And remember to hit the like button if so. All right. All right, I'm just looking to see in the stats. I'm going to try to share this link out just while I think I've got about three of y'all listening. So you guys, thank y'all so much for hanging out. And today we are just talking about those moments when we feel like we're two-sighted and too blind, or, you know, we're too or not disabled enough kind of moments. So you're welcome to share a story where you have felt that way. I'm very curious to hear what y'all's experiences are. I felt the most that way when it came to picking up my cane. Okay, so I just copied our link, and I'm going to go share it on Facebook now just to see who all is able to join us. So, I am getting so excited for spring. I can't wait to go outside. Though I have to say, the sun and I do have a love-hate relationship. So I am one of the pages I like on Facebook. So that's where I'm going right now, just to kind of share this out. As there's so much support on Facebook. There's so many blind and visually impaired support groups, and there's one actually called Blind and Visually Impaired Support Group, and it's huge and it's very active, very supportive. It's got some great posters on there, and there's also pretty much, almost as far as to my knowledge, one for every diagnosis. Like there's a retinitis pigmentosa group, there's a Stargardt's disease group, there's a Cone-Rod's dystrophy support group. It's just, Facebook is a great resource to find your community and your support. And so every now and then I just like to get on there, and I'll comment when I can, as much as I can. It's hard to keep track of all the social media stuff that I do, but I'm going to get on here right now and just kind of share our live chat, just to kind of help everybody get the word, get the memo that we're good every Tuesday, Thursday. We're going to try to start doing these lives, and that you can come and just listen. You can come and participate in the chat, or just comment later. I have so many groups on here. I'm trying to find the ones I want. It's taking me forever. Trying to do it without my screen reader on, which just then slows me down that much more. But so I'm going to dictate this message. Come join us for a live blind community chat. Make it short and simple. So I'm just going to share this out. I hope y'all can hit that share button too. And this is just, hopefully helpful in getting the word out that this is a consistent thing, that hopefully people can start joining and participating and listening and gaining some value from. Oh, somebody's at my door. I love how those Ring doorbells, I feel like everybody's starting to get them now. And so everyone's doorbell, it's like back to the day where everyone's doorbell it sounds the same. Sorry guys, this is taking me so daggone long. I'm just wanting to make sure that this posted, because I hate it when I feel like I did it right, but then I'm not sure. And I don't see it posting to the group. So I'm like, oh crap, maybe I didn't do it right. Y'all just hang out for a second. Stay with me. If you haven't yet shared your story of when you feel like you're too blind or too sighted for a situation, you kind of feel that in between, I'd love to hear your story. Okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead. I think I shared it, at least on one group, and I don't know if anybody's able to join or not, but we'll see. I've got you guys with me. That's all that matters, my friends. So I'm going to join the chat here.
Voiceover on. Landscape. No thanks. No thanks. Video player. Play. Button. Welcome to the chat. Remember to guard your privacy. 12:47 p.m. Wait for AJR. Yes, indeed. It has been a long struggle. I'm sitting barefoot on my small back patio in my new apartment. 12:49 p.m. Page 2 of 2. 12:49 p.m. Wait for AJR. The closest I can come to that is what happened to me in 1979 when I had my left eye removed. My brain didn't immediately get the message that I could not see light anymore.
Right.
12:33 p.m. Wait for AJR. Page 2 of 2. 12:41 p.m. Wait for AJR. Don't use the side you don't have. That is why you're making a mistake. You have alternatives. Use them. There's nothing wrong with being blind. There's no shame in it. After all, it's what we are.
Amen. Amen. I did a TikTok video going over just that like I've reached this point in my life where it's like counterintuitive, because as a child, growing up and in my phases of avoidance and denial and trying to act as though I don't have a visual impairment in my efforts to fit in and mask all that whole journey. It's like it's like this innate thing that we want to use what vision we have to the absolute best of our ability and just max the hell out of what we have left, and trying to do the same things that everybody else does, the same way that everybody else does, using what vision we have. And I've finally gotten to the point where I'm like, you know what? No, that is not doing me any favors. I'm not any better off thinking that way, because what I end up doing is stressing my eyes out, straining my eyes, and then thus I have a headache, migraine, back pain, neck pain, you name it. So many other issues pop up, and then next thing you know, I'm paying more in the long run. And so in this TikTok video, I told myself, this year, part of my 2020 goal is to start closing my eyes more, stop straining my eyes, build my skills up with voiceover more, depend more on that, close my eyes more while I'm cleaning, while I'm cooking, develop my tactile skills, my auditory skills, and discernments of those things, and dependence on those senses more this year, so that I can just take the load off my little remaining residual vision, and that way, I'm not hunched over all the time. I can stand straight up like a normal person and not, constantly like bending over all the time. And I got a lot of great feedback on TikTok on that. And I'm so glad to receive that support, because it's kind of, like I said, a lot of teachers and stuff will kind of teach you the opposite. At least back when I was in school, it was kind of like, they wanted you to use what vision you have. Oh no, Cindy, you don't need to learn Braille because you'll never go completely blind. Well, guess what? I may not be completely blind, but I still need to be a Braille user. I still need to learn Braille because I can't see print anymore. No matter what font size you put on, I have to have it backlit. But the backlight, like on iPads and devices and such, fatigue my eyes and strain my eyes. So then it just ends up being this catch-22 all the way around, and it's not doing me any favors to use this vision, because it just causes me more problems in the long run. So you were totally right there, my friend Ray.
$12:33 p.m. Wait for AJR. I had my left eye removed in 1979 because of glaucoma. My left eye. Welcome to the chat. Remember to guard your privacy at the back. 12:41 p.m. Wait for page 2 of 2. 12:41 p.m. Wait for AJR. Don't use the side you don't have. That is why you're making a mistake. You have alternatives. Use them. There's nothing wrong with being blind. There's no shame in it. After all, it's what we are.
That's right. And there are lots of alternatives. You brought up a good point there. I mean, yeah, voiceover, audio description. All our technology has so much accessibility built in now. It's amazing. It's amazing. I was just reflecting back the other day on life in high school and how we didn't have iOS devices and smartphones and smart things. And I use my iPhone as a magnifier now, because the traditional magnifiers, like the handheld ones, are just never powerful enough. And like I said, I need that kind of backlight type of contrast. And so I was trying to look back on like my high school days, before technology is what it is today, and just the difference that there is now is night and day. And now there's so many more alternatives. There's so many things that make life so much easier as a blind person now, and we need to utilize them, and not utilize them to bridge what we have with what we can't and what we can't do, but to just use it completely. Go ahead, close your eyes, save what vision you have, and don't strain. Is there anybody else with us in this chat? I'd love to hear any other examples and experiences of when you feel too blind, too sighted, don't know where to fit in, don't know what decision to make. Are you blind enough? Or, those type of insecurities. I'd love to hear some more examples of that. And if you're watching this or listening to this on the replay, I'd love to hear your stories and comments down in the comment section. So I've got 5 watching right now, y'all. Hello, my friends. Thank y'all so much for joining. And if you have any experiences you would love to share on when you felt too sighted and too blind, I would love to know. Like I said earlier, the time in my life that this hit me the most was when I was trying to accept my cane in my life. And I just felt like, well, in most daytime situations, I feel like I have enough sight to get by without it. So I am. And that has absolutely very little. Just because you can doesn't mean we all know how that ends. We should, right? Just because you can does not mean you should. There are still times when we make mistakes. We don't catch things fast enough. And there's times too when you might go into a dark setting, but your eyes are still used to the outdoors. And so I'm night blind. So a lot of the times when I'm transitioning from like polar light settings, like from a bright light to a dark, dimly lit area, I'm completely blind and for about 10, 15 minutes or so until my eyes adjust. And so there were so many times that happened, and I'm like, man, I really need my cane right now, at least for the next 10 minutes. I really should have it. And so I had to depend on everybody else to guide me. And don't wait until you feel like you fit that box 100% before you accept it. It's a tool, my friends, and tools are not things we need 100% of the time, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't pick them up and have them available to us 100% of the time. So that's just how I feel about it. Now, another time that I felt like I was too sighted and too blind was just building my community, because I felt like I was not allowed to use the word blind for a long time because I did have some functional sight. And it took me a long time to embrace the spectrum. And that's one of the reasons why this past year or two, I have seen so many people preaching from the highest mountain that blindness is a spectrum. And so many content creators have pushed that narrative, and the education is getting out there. And I'm just so happy to see that, because back in the day, I did not understand that myself. Even though I was on the spectrum of blindness, I didn't understand that it is a spectrum. I was still under this impression that you had to be at this certain threshold to be able to claim that word. And I felt like I wasn't at it yet. Like I was gatekeeping myself based on my own wrong, incorrect assumptions. And when I finally got to that understanding and self-reflecting and knowledge that, well, no, technically by law, I am blind. So thus I can use that word. It took me a while to just mentally wrap my head around that and accept that and be comfortable with that word. So for the longest time, I just felt like, yeah, well, no, I'm just visually impaired, or no, I'm just low vision, or no, I'm just legally blind. I thought I had to use the word legally blind as if that gives any more, context and definition to the sighted community. Hell, they don't know what legally blind or blind for that alone. They don't know what that means. I mean, yeah. So anyway, that's kind of how I feel about that. I'm going to go check the comment section over here and see what y'all got.
Welcome to the chat. Remember to guard your privacy and abide by 12:41 p.m. Wait for AJR. Page 3 of 3. 12:45 p.m. Blind justice. Big win for VIPs in the courts. I got the NC courts to provide our interpretation in court.
Hey there, my friend. Good to see you again in here.
12:45 p.m. Blind justice. Big win for VIPs in the courts. I got the NC courts to provide our interpretation in court.
Congratulations. You know, I hate to say this, but when it comes to disability advocacy, the more I am in this community and the more research and things that I do, when it comes to, if you really want to see profound positive change and accessibility and recognizing universal design and things like that, the only way you're going to make the able-bodied population community do it is to make it law. I unfortunately, I would love to be able to say that all of us business owners and all the people out there, you know, that are designing, constructing, architects, all that stuff, I would love to say that their heart and mind is in the right place and they're always going to, strive to achieve to make everything accessible. But they're not. Unfortunately, sometimes the almighty dollar just weighs too heavily on people's hearts and minds, and so they want to cut corners and next thing you know, there's no accountability, and then accessibility slides and corners are cut, and then so I do feel like the only real way that we can see major changes is if it is gone through the legal system. So people like you, my friend, are doing great work in tackling that, because it's definitely not an easy process and requires so much patience. And there's always a lot of pushback because, let's face it, accessibility generally means spending extra money. But it's better off. We're all better off as a community and as a world in the long run for it. So.
12:47 p.m. Patriot in the dark. No, I am 100% perfectly blind, and I refuse those four-sided people's help. They have enough issues.
Say, amen.
12:50 p.m. Wait for AJR. Don't make the mistake if you're relying only on technology. Technology is not all the answer. Good basic skills and a good closet your blindness are critically important.
Amen. You know what? Yeah, totally right there, my friend. I did not mean to imply only that technology is the only accessibility options and alternatives. You are so right, my friend. That's why I mentioned earlier, one of my goals this year is to close my eyes more, to develop my tactile skills, to develop my auditory skills more and depend on them and build the discernment up there more, so that it doesn't matter what residual vision I have or don't have, that regardless, I relate more as a blind person now than I ever have in my life. And so just close my eyes, just go ahead and build up as many tools and have as many tools in your toolkit that you can. It's not going to hurt, right? It's only going to serve you better in the long run, right? But you are so right. There's so many options. Technology is not the end all be all for accessibility.
12:51 p.m. Wait for AJR. No, they're just as blind with the cane as without it. Your cane is an extension of your arm and your hand. If you think of it that way, you then should be proud to make use of it.
That's right. It is. And because so many of us see us as an extension of our arm and hand, we become so possessive of it. And it's like, don't touch my cane. Do not place my cane anywhere just don't touch it. Don't move it. Because it's so funny. I've been in restaurants before, y'all, and a server has tried to move my cane. And I'm like, oh, no, just tell me, where would you like me to put it? I'm sorry if it's in your way, or if someone could trip over or something. And it takes a while, I think, for a lot of people who do feel that they're in that gray area, that in between, I'm not blind enough or I'm too sighted, but yet they still know that for their own safety or just simply pure for identification, they need to have their white cane. And it takes them a while to get used to it, to get to that point where it is an extension of their arm and hand, and they do embrace it so much in their life that it becomes, they're comfortable with the identity of it. They're comfortable with the label of it, and they gain that blind pride that I call blind pride. It took me a while to get it. I'm there. I'm right there with you, my friend. I totally understand where you're at. It takes a while, and a lot of people really do struggle with that.
12:51 p.m. Wait for AJR. No, they're just as blind with the cane as without it. Your cane is an extension of your arm and your head. Page 3 of 3.
Yeah.
12:51 p.m. Wait for 12:50 p.m. Wait for AJR. Don't make the mistake. Voiceover off.
I think I am up to date on the comment section. So thank you guys so much for joining me today. I'm really interested to see what people say in the comment section. I'd love to hear your all's thoughts and perspectives later after this live. I'm going to give everyone just 1 or 2 more minutes to post any questions, anything that you have found interesting in your life. It does not have to relate to today's topic necessarily, but if there's just anything that you would like to contribute, whether it's just your 2 cents on where we're at in the world or something blindness related, question or anything like that, you're welcome to pop that into the comments right now. And if not, my friends, y'all have a blessed day. So I'm going to give you all just a second and see who is still with us right now. And if you're watching on the replay, I so appreciate you joining and supporting. I'm going to hopefully start putting out some just pre-edited and recorded videos again here shortly. I had a comment on the channel just a few days ago asking for more tips and hacks and tricks, and they specifically also mentioned accessibility and apps and such, which I did reply back stating, there's lots of other, creators out there that do excellent work in technology, such as Sam from The Blind Life. Carrie from Live Accessible is actually rebranding right now, my friend. So she is now Carrie with Accessibility. And so, yeah, I think she is going to be, she's always in the past done excellent work with apps and assistive technology, things like that. So they do such an awesome job at that I do not need to contribute anymore to that topic and content area. So I'm going to stick to just more general life hacks and tips and just home things and family life and such. As a disabled mom, that's sort of just my angle, and hopefully that will serve and benefit you guys. And I'm going to check and see if anybody's got anything to add before we close today's chat out. Remember to like this stream, my friends, so that...
Wednesday. Home button to the right. 12:51 p.m. 12:51 p.m. Wait for AJR. No, they're just as blind with the cane as without it. Your cane is an extension of your arm and hand. If you think
so I think that's...
app switcher.
Ray, I think that's the last comment. So we're going to go ahead and close this out. Remember just to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, my friends. Double check right now. Take a second, double check that notification bell. Make sure it's turned on. That way you get notifications every Tuesday, Thursday, or whatever day we might have to switch it to accommodate other guest schedules. That's going to really come in handy to help you remember and to tune in, check in, and if there's any scheduling changes. So I thank you all so much for joining me for today's live lunch, blind community chat. And when we feel, and just when we feel too sighted and too blind, and just navigating those awkward moments and struggles on our journey with our disability. And it does not have to be necessarily specific to blind life. Like I said, there's a lot of people who are wheelchair users, or just in the mental illness sector and in the autistic community, and just all of them have this feeling of I'm not too much this and I'm not too much that, and it ends up causing a lot of insecurities and struggles on their journey. So if you know anyone who ever expresses that in that phase, remember this stream and share it with them. Hopefully they'll gain some value from it and just relate, and they can comment down below, and I will certainly respond back with any feedback, or maybe do a video response even. So my friends, thank you so much for joining me. For those who are with me, you all have a blessed day, and I'll catch you next Tuesday for another live lunch.